Right now at 5, a game-changing proposal for mobile home parks, how a new bill could protect residents from getting priced out.
Plus, a pickup truck splashing into Lake Onalaska, where it fell through the ice, and the fishermen who sprung into action.
We're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 5.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 5. I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozorowski. Democratic lawmakers are pushing to keep housing affordable in Wisconsin.
And they're proposing a new bill to make it happen. News 8 Now's Grace Monk joins us to explain.
The bill would put an annual cap on rent increases for manufactured home communities across Wisconsin. Under the bill, rent increases would be limited to 2 or 4% depending on inflation. It would also require owners to notify residents of potential sales and give them 60 days to submit an offer. In most cases, people living in mobile home parks own their house and pay to rent the land underneath.
It truly is a far more affordable option for people than having to pay what has become a very difficult time to purchase a home.
Smith says the goal is to prevent companies from pricing people out.
They don't really have any personal interest in the property. They just want to make an investment, and sometimes they're looking at the possibility of redevelopment, and they will jack up the rent.
The bill also requires owners to pass state inspections to ensure that communities are being maintained. Reporting in La Crosse, Grace Monk, News 8 Now.
Western Wisconsin's Congressman Derek Van Orden visiting Altoona today. He is touting a $2.25 million investment for the city's water system project. The funding will help provide clean and reliable water service to approximately 170 mobile home lots in Hillcrest Estates. Officials say without the upgrades, hundreds would be at risk of losing their homes.
To be productive members of our society and participate in our economy, they have to have a place to live. And this is one of the best things that we've been able to accomplish since I've been in office.
The city of Altoona will own the water system and Hillcrest Estates will maintain it. Wisconsin governor candidate Kelda Roys is visiting the region today, making stops at Sprouts Child Care and the Hunger Task Force in La Crosse, as well as Westby Creamery. Roys spent the day discussing her hopes to raise wages, lower costs, and prioritize child care statewide.
I know that early childhood education is important for every single family. It's also important for our workforce because parents need to know that their kids are safe so that they can go to work. And it's also important to make sure that young kids are ready to learn and thrive when they enter school.
Roy is also touting her proposed state health insurance plan, Kelda Care. Fellow candidate David Crowley is also in the area tonight. We'll be hearing from him later.
Tomorrow is spring primary election day, and multiple area school districts could see competitive races. In Westby, David Egan, Peter Eng, and Toby Wood are vying for seat 6 on the school board. The top 2 advance to the spring election. In Soldiers Grove, Katie Dobson, Jill Quandal, and Harrison Heilman are competing for 2 village trustee spots. Polls open at 7 a.m. and we'll have continued coverage and results tomorrow night.
A pickup truck breaking through the ice at Schaefer's Landing.
Witnesses say the vehicle drove close to a spring where the ice was thinner. When it fell through the ice, catching on an underwater structure, keeping it from fully submerging. The only occupant in the car was able to escape without injuries and treated by first responders.
It was a little scary because you could definitely tell he was in shock after the fact, but we were able to get him to the landing to be seen by the first responders.
Anderson says other vehicles were driving closer to the middle of the water where the ice is thicker.
Well, I'm glad that occupant was able to make it out safely, but with this recent trend of warmer weather, Greg, this kind of eventuality seems very, very possible right now.
Yeah, a lot of the lakes are probably losing that ice thickness too. Probably enough thickness to be on with UTVs and stuff like that and walking, but trucks and the vehicles getting a little bit dicey, especially for areas that have a little bit more spring action too in them. But today we got close to record highs. We had close to 60 for La Crosse. We didn't quite make it, but look at all those 60s further to the south, further to the north, well into the 50s too. Eau Claire was about 6 degrees short of a record too. But mild conditions are still going to last here for this evening. Right now we're still well into the 50s with a few high cirrus clouds out there. You can see in La Crosse cross camera. Otherwise, very mild, very April-like conditions. Overall, there's all your 50s still. A few areas getting back into the 40s too, as you would expect. And this evening, really, we're going to drop back temperatures back into the mid-30s as we go throughout. A dry atmosphere in mid-February. It doesn't take long to really make these temperatures to fall off, but still very pleasant for this evening and dry too, as you see La Crosse getting down to 40. So later on, we do have winter coming to an end. That means we have precipitation back in the forecast. That means rain, wind, and eventually, yes, snow later this week too. So we'll break all that down a bit later.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Well, La Crescent Hoka school staff spent their morning learning what it's like to live in poverty. Great Rivers United Way hosted a poverty simulation. Staff were assigned roles in families facing challenges like unemployment and tight budgets. The goal is to help teachers understand what their students may be going through.
I think that's all what it's about, is the perspective piece, is trying to get everyone to understand and get a little different perspective on what some of the families within our community are going through.
According to United Way, 32% of Houston County residents struggle to meet basic needs.
North and Spence Elementary students are celebrating the Chinese New Year at UWL. Students in the university's Chinese program are leading an after-school Chinese club at the elementary schools. Today's special session celebrated the holiday with Chinese traditions, offering a fun opportunity to learn more about the language and culture.
Chinese New Year is celebrated all over the whole country. So let's just share with them, like, what do people do? Why do people do that? And what's the meaning behind it?
Today was the club's third session with the elementary school.
Students at Crucifixion School in La Crescent celebrating their annual Mardi Gras Carnival fundraiser. Each year, the gym is transformed into a carnival featuring food, games, and bounce houses to celebrate. This year, organizers expected around 150 kids to attend.
It is our day that the kids can just let loose, get wild, and have a whole bunch of fun before we enter into the Lenten season.
The event has been a staple at the school since the 60s.
Coming up tonight, all new at 6, small-town churches in the Coulee region are seeing plummeting numbers in attendance, leaving some to wonder if they should close their doors. Mindoro Presbyterian Church sees an average of 6 to 10 members every Sunday and has resorted to hiring volunteers to minister the service after losing their pastor 2 years ago. They say younger families have either moved on to bigger cities or are caught up in weekend activities, leaving very little hope for the church's future.
I feel sad, obviously, but people have to do what they have to do. Religion isn't as important as it was, which is, I guess, understandable in our busy times with everything going on. I'm just disappointed in our parishioners.
Tonight, I'll explore the challenges rural churches face and what community faith leaders are saying could help spark their revival.
Still to come, Epstein files sparking an international domino effect. The high-profile names mentioned in crimes some are facing.
Plus, the death of a Hollywood legend. A look back at Robert Duvall's career and the legacy he leaves behind.
Tomorrow on News 8 Now, this morning, you spend 1/3 of your life sleeping or trying to sleep if you're anything like me. We'll show you how to make the most of it. And Art's got a cooler week for us when we see you at 5 a.m.
On Capitol Hill, efforts to reopen the government are underway on day 3 of the shutdown standoff. Funding for the Department of Homeland Security ran out over the weekend, and there's no end in sight. Both sides continue to debate the Trump administration's immigration enforcement tactics. Democrats want ICE officers to unmask, wear body cameras, and obtain warrants to enter private property.
I think some of the asks are just, I think they're unreasonable.
We're willing to have a good faith conversation about everything, but fundamentally we need change that is dramatic.
While ICE and Border Patrol are part of DHS, those agencies are not affected by the freeze in funding.
The Epstein files continuing to send shockwaves around the world. Around 300 names appeared in newly released documents, including President Trump, who spoke with Palm Beach police about Epstein in 2006. Norway's former prime minister has been charged with gross corruption. And in the UK, new calls to investigate Prince Andrew, including allegations he leaked state secrets to Epstein.
Well, I think it's amazing that they're all being exposed, but I just would like to see them all held accountable.
Meanwhile, Victoria's Secret founder Les Wexner will testify before Congress next week. He was labeled a co-conspirator in 2019 FBI documents.
2 years after the death of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny, European leaders are speaking out. Samples from his body show he was poisoned with a rare toxin found in poison dart frogs. The Kremlin rejects claims Navalny was poisoned. Navalny was running against Russian President Vladimir Putin in 2024. He was killed 1 month before the election.
Legendary actor and director Robert Duvall has died.
CBS's Jared Hill takes a look back at his decades-long career.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Robert Duvall's remarkable career spanned decades, punctuated by some of the most memorable roles in movie history.
What happened to your money?
I lost it. After serving in the U.S. Army and graduating from college, Duvall made his film debut as Boo Radley in 1962's To Kill a Mockingbird, a character who was effectively mute.
Thank you, Roger.
Other roles followed, but perhaps none more iconic than Duvall's Oscar-nominated performance as Tom Hagen, the Corleone family consigliere in The Godfather, Parts 1 and 2.
Have anything to say? Say it to Michael.
In Francis Ford Coppola's 1979 masterpiece, Apocalypse Now, Duvall delivered a powerful performance as Lieutenant Colonel Bill Kilgore.
Someday this war's gonna end.
It would be his role as a washed-up country singer in 1983's Tender Mercies that would earn Duvall an Academy Award.
This is very emotional. Can be very well. We walk through that crowd, coming through the front door. I mean, that's very emotional.
At the age of 58, Duvall starred in the CBS miniseries Lonesome Dove, playing a role he called one of his favorites. Almost 10 years later, he wrote, directed, and starred in The Apostle, playing a preacher seeking redemption in Louisiana.
I walk with Jesus. I shout with Jesus.
At 84 years old, Duvall became the oldest Oscar nominee up until that point for his role in The Judge, opposite Robert Downey Jr.
You didn't come to my high school graduation or college.
Why? Jail time. Truancy. I was going to reward anything.
Duvall's fourth wife, whom he married in 2005, says he passed away peacefully at home, surrounded by love and comfort. She released a statement saying, in part, to the world, he was an Academy Award-winning actor, a director, a storyteller. To me, he was simply everything. Jared Hill, CBS News.
We will have more news ahead.
But first.
Yeah, unfortunately, our fall spring is going to come to an end here this week as temperatures fall back. We have rain, we have wind, and we have snow, too. We'll break all that down coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break. Yeah, pretty much continues our stretch of very well above average temperatures, 50s, even a few 60s. We got a few more days of mild conditions, and then we're going to start seeing, but overall temperatures here across the area, even close to 70 as you go closer to Iowa, too. Further north up into Canada, yeah, there is some cold air eventually starting to kind of pool together. You see those negative numbers up there, too. Kind of a sign that things are going to start to change here, but not at least until the end of the week are you really going to see temperatures get back to where we should be. Right now, front to pass right to the south. We've got one up to the north, so we got a little bit of turning of the winds too, which may bring a little bit low cloud cover back into the area with a northeast type flow. But overall, all the activity we're waiting for the system is well to the south and west yet to come into the picture. Tonight, temperatures will come back down. 30s, upper 20s with a little bit of a northeast-east flow behind that cold front, that weak front that came through. So a little bit cooler, but still, these are above what we should be for average high temperatures. Tomorrow, still going to be quite mild there, just more clouds and more wind coming out of the southeast as that system approaches. So well above average, but maybe about a 4 to 5 degree drop depending on location too. Now, overnight, too, as I mentioned, you might have a little bit of that low cloud cover beginning to develop. You can see some pockets of it here, especially closer to the snowpack that remains. It won't last long because you have high clouds beginning to increase from the west, so that it kind of rode that away fairly quickly. Now, as we go through tomorrow, there's a lot of cloud cover. Precipitation doesn't come in focus until we get late in the afternoon or towards the evening. You see a line of showers begins to develop, lift north over the area. Then we'll see kind of rounds of showers come through the area. Better as you're going to see more steadier rain further north of I-94. You'll see breaks. Probably don't see much in the way of rainfall until we get later in the evening for areas south. But you see it's really scattered as that low gets close. The main band will be well to just to the north of Eau Claire and remaining all rain, as you notice too. Even a more convective band begins to approach too overnight. There could be a little bit of a thunder in here as this one rotates through too. Once again, remaining all rain as the winds continue to be quite breezy. Then we're going to see a break, really, depending on where you are Wednesday. Further south you go, a lot more sunshine. Further north you go with this wraparound moisture. You'll probably hang around with cloud cover, but most areas will likely remain dry through Wednesday. It just depends on where you are that you'll get sun or not too much sun. The wind will be the other factor too. There's your high temperatures going into Wednesday. Still mild too. We're going to be mild overnight and remaining mild. So still another day of 50s, a little bit colder to the north, especially as you get more towards Rusk County. And then as we go into the wind time, as you notice the winds, we're going to have pretty gusty winds going tomorrow out of the southeast, could gust near 35, 40. And then as we go to Wednesday, as I mentioned, we're going to turn those winds around and they're going to come from the west. And once again, we could see gusts potentially reaching 30 to 35 miles per hour. So that's what we got going on. And then we got accumulating snow coming into picture Thursday night into Friday. That'll have to be watched because that could cause some road issues going into Friday. And the temperatures, yes, we're back to where we should be this time of year, which is low 30s, at least around La Crosse. But we do come back up to the 40s by Tuesday. So enjoy the mild conditions because winter's coming back.
It sure is.
Thanks, Greg. Still to come, a record-breaking season.
One Girl Scouts big cookie record right after the break.
Expect more from News 8 Now. Thanks for watching.
A 6-year-old Girl Scout from Pittsburgh is breaking records.
Pim Neal has sold more than 100,000 boxes of Girl Scout cookies, a season record.
That is a massive amount. Pim says she's wanted to be a Girl Scout since she was 3, but had trouble finding a troop suitable for her special needs.
He got asked along the way, well, haven't you sold enough boxes? Isn't that enough? My favorite response was, do you think they told Michael Phelps that he swam enough laps?
Pim is now gunning for an even bigger record, the most career cookies ever sold, which is 180,000 boxes. Well,
Okay.
Congrats to her, and I'm jealous. I haven't seen one Girl Scout selling cookies yet.
Not yet, but I think the season started in January, so if she's
Yeah.
already at 100,000, shouldn't be too hard to get that final 80,000 to break that record by the end of spring.
Oh, is that when it ends
believe
in the
so.
spring? Okay, I got to get me some of those before lunch
yeah.
starts. All right, Greg has a final look at your forecast right after the break.
All right, still going to be mild tomorrow, just maybe a bit cooler, dry for the whole day, so that's good. The winds will definitely be picked up. You'll notice that. The rain comes back in Tuesday night through Wednesday. Not much of an impact with this one, but keep your eye for Thursday night into Friday for a more impactful potential snow.
All right, and those temperatures are going back down to
Going
average.
back where they should be.
Yep, that does it for us at 5.
See you back at 6.